What up, y'all, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the 2023 FBRL Sony Cup Series season finale. On pole is Blake Warren, believing this is the first time for both Blake Warren and Flipside Motorsports to grace the pole in a Sony Cup Series event. They've got James Shelley to their outside. In row 2, Vince Freeze and Sean Perkins. Row 3, Jeffrey White and Eric Demax, one of our championship contenders. Row 4 sees Samuel England and Dom Capps. And rounding out the top 10, you got Dylan Schwallenberg and Bobby Jones. Zaedin Davidson starts 12th, your points leader. Coming into this thing, Dajon Weeks starts 15th. The championship scenarios are pretty simple for this one. If Zaedin Davidson and Eric Demax don't win the race, Dajon Weeks is the champion. But if Zaedin or Demax is to win the race, they need the number 30 to finish 8th or worse with this top 10 points format. Final race, I'm sure a lot of drivers, teams happy that the top 10 format's going away, but it's been quite the dynamic for the 2023 season, a season that has seen, I think, the most parity in Sony Cup Series history, as not a single driver has won more than 2 races this season. Pace car will drop it down the pit road. We've got a long one in store for you this afternoon. 130 laps, green flag is out, we're underway at Atlanta. Warren leads the way as James Shelley gets a huge run on his outside off of turn 4. Double file throughout the first dozen rows or so. Now we're starting to spread out, maybe a little bit of 3-wide action as Schwallenberg will go to the inside of Samuel England. As Freeze to the inside of Warren for the race lead. Freeze will take the top spot. Now Schwallenberg with a huge surge of momentum on that inside line. Schwallenberg announced this week that he will not be returning to Rodriguez Racing in 2024, as now he goes 3 wide looking for the race lead on Freeze and Warren. Can Schwallenberg end his tenure at Rodriguez Racing with a W? Become the only driver to win 3 races on the season. Clear into turn 1 is the 10 as they're now 3 wide behind for second place. Sean Harple down there on the inside line with Joseph Shrigley and Dajon Weeks in tow. See Harple though checking up here. This camera angle is going to be a great one in the corners all day long. As you see 3 by 3 by 3 wide. Demax in the middle now to the outside of Dajon Weeks. James Shelley, Sean Perkins falling backwards from their top 5 starting positions. Dom Capps falling outside of the top 10. Schwallenberg clear in the race lead. Freeze getting a good run off of turn 4 will clear Harple for second. Samuel England right behind them in third. England going to go to the top line and try and continue that momentum off of turn 2. Now England to the outside of Freeze for second. As Demax has moved up to the top line, he's running the top. Outside 3 wide of Harple and Shrigley. England clear into second place. looking for his first win of the season. He comes into this thing 9th in the point. Schwallenberg comes in 7th in the point. Schwallenberg with a chance to score a top 5 points finish to end the season. Needs to pass DJ Curtis and Dom Caps at the minimum to do that. He's 8 points behind Curtis, 14 behind Cap, so definitely feasible if Schwal has the race he needs to have, and they do not have a good race. Tire wear is going to be heavy here this afternoon, and hearing that teams might be opting for a 2-stopper, even though they have the gas to make it on a 1-stopper due to the heavy tire fall off. Eric Demax side by side with Samuel England looking for 2nd place. DJ Curtis right on his bumper coming off of turn number 2. Demax tries to pull up in front of England, but England having none of it. Now Curtis going to make it 3 wide for 2nd. Demax clears up in front of England. Now England side by side with Curtis for 3rd. Behind them, Weeks, Shrigley side by side for 5th. As Eric Demax looking to the inside of Schwallenberg for the race lead. Davidson, you can see him in the Puma number 91 Mercedes just out there at the back of the picture, just outside of the top 10 right now. As the race is on for the top spot. Schwallenberg took the lead early from Vince Fries on lap 3 or so. Been leading since without any competition, but now the competition is here. Demax to the inside of Schwallenberg for the lead. You want to talk about a driver who has been the surprise underdog here at the end of the season? That would be the 18 team of Eric Demax for Joseph Shrigley Racing. Now this car scored points in the first 4 races of the season, and then in the next 8 races only scored points once. We saw Demax get that win at Michigan. Followed it up with a 2nd place at the 16th race of the season. And then just last time out in Hawaii, got a 3rd place result. While Weeks and Davidson scored no points, and that put Demax in the position here today to fight for a Sony Cup Series championship. But the odds are stacked against him and Davidson, whom Davidson led the points for a majority of the season, scored points in the first 5 races. Then he also went on a skid where for the next 6 races, actually make that 5, he only scored points once. Then came a 3rd place finish at round 11 and a win at round number 12. And then another long skid followed by a 10-point effort in round 18. And Davidson didn't really per se fall out of the contention this whole time, but Weeks had enough good string of good runs in the middle of the season to take that points lead away. And it is also a 20-point gap from the 91 to the 30. As at the front, Demax, Schwallenberg, they've been side by side for a couple of laps now. Curtis and England side by side behind them. All 4 of these drivers are practically sharing the middle groove. As Anthony Marchese has jumped into the top 10. Marchese with an okay qualifying effort and has been moving forward. Also moving forward has been Cody Lamas, who started outside of the top 20. He's up to 12th place. So he's looking to take 11th from Matthew Rodriguez. Lamas sitting 4th in the point standings coming in. He's got a shot to finish runner-up in the standings. just got to get 8 points on Davidson and Demax, as Lamas has won 2 races this season here in the second half and has had quite the comeback year, as the beginning of the year was just bad luck city for this number 48 team. As now we find Eric Demax to the outside of Schwallenberg. Now Schwallenberg clearing him back for the lead, as a lap ago Demax led at the start-finish line. Now these two good friends off the racetrack, just having a grand old time here at Atlanta, fighting for the race lead, doing it cleanly and respectfully. As Demax with another big run off of turn 4, back to the outside of Schwallenberg, as Curtis and England continue to remain in a stalemate for 3rd place. Demax looking to the outside of Schwallenberg once again here off of turn 4. Schwal tries to clear, but the 18 is there side by side at the start-finish line once again is the 10 and the 18, as right behind them, Samuel England going to clear DJ Curtis for 3rd place. Weeks sits in 5th. Turner, Bobby Jones, Marchese, Davidson, Shrigley, your top 10. Passing has been a chore this afternoon, as you see Curtis right back to the inside of England. Now you see Weeks in the back of the picture side by side with Turner for 5th. As Eric Demax going to clear Dylan Schwallenberg using the high line. Schwallenberg going to try and fight back on the bottom. There's Demax. Now once again side by side with Schwallenberg for the race lead. And it appears this could be a fight that never ends throughout the length of this green flag run, as we have gone green so far since the start of the race. Taking a look at the rear of the field here, Brandon Morris been running by himself, minding his own business. Got a 3-car pack here. Victor Nunez, Gatlin Downey, and Lars Van Schaik, 39th to 41st. Charlie Smith in the 31. Good news for Crossroads Racing this week, as the 98 for Breeding Enterprises failed to qualify. That locks up a charter for Crossroads Racing for the 2024 season. And the 31 car just kind of riding here. Francois Chastain, Hannah Allen. See Peter Onjak not having a good day. He's currently in 35th. Dylan Young, Diego Yepes, Miles Mashburn. How about Charles Sanford? Not a good effort right now at all in 31st. Logan Cloud, Aiden Shepard. See Dane Stinson, man, running 28th compared to teammate Eric Demax. Not the run this team wanted today at all. How about James Shelley? We saw him qualify 2nd. He's 26. Sean Perkins has fallen to 25th. Dom Capps from 8th down to 24th. Blake Warren, your pole sitter, down in 23rd. So a lot of guys that started at the front of the field have fallen down the running order. You see just outside of the top 20, you got Cal Farrell, Will Goss, Mitchell Collins. Mitchell Collins actually currently just inside the top 20. Ryan Acosta, Shade Eves, Vince Freeze, James Silverfox, Sean Harple. About Bobo Jones up in 14th place right now. And Jeffrey White in 13th, as we see Matt Rod and Lamas fighting for 11th still. As not much has changed here inside the top 10. Davidson up to 7th, but about 2.5 seconds behind Dylan Schwallenberg, as the leaders have caught to lap Brandon Morris. We have gone through the running order here. Dajon Weeks no longer under pressure from Jesse Turner. So Weeks currently just kind of minding his own business in 5th, as everyone is chasing Dylan Schwallenberg. Dajon Weeks has decided it's time to go. Has cleared Samuel England for 4th, now putting the fight on with DJ Curtis for 3rd. "94 laps to go, long way to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. If you're Dajon Weeks, you're doing everything you got to do to win this championship. 8th or lower. Just got to avoid 8th or lower. Because as long as the 30 runs 7th or higher, it does not matter if the 18 or the 91 take the race lead. Currently, Davidson, a couple positions behind Weeks in 7th. Demax just ahead in 2nd place. You know, we've talked about Demax's season, the win at Michigan. We talked about Davidson's season, his one win, wherever that came from. I'm looking at the Google sheet, and the Google sheet just lists a round number, and my memory's not that great right now, so not quite sure which one round 12 was, but y'all know. But Dajon Weeks won the season opener, the Daytona 500. Went 3 races without a points finish. Then he got the second, back-to-back seconds, round 5, round 6. Another points finish, round 7. 2 more races without points. Round 10 to 13 is where he got a good haul, totaling 54 points of his 141-point total on the season from round 10 to round 13, which included a 2nd place and 2 third place finishes. So 3 finishes in the top 3. And then most recently another 2nd place finish in round number 18. As Weeks, while I talked my mouth off, has passed DJ Curtis for 3rd place. 40 laps complete, 90 to go. Fastest lap belongs to DJ Curtis at 29.170. Weeks 7th on the board. Davidson 13th on the board. Demax 18th on the board. But the fastest lap is not what matters, as it's all about managing your tire fall off here at Atlanta. This track will just sand those tires down to nothing. As currently, fall off has reached 2 seconds from a fast lap time. A small spotlight on the 15 of Shade Eves here. Currently running 15th, racing against James Silverfox and Sean Harple for the 15th place position. So 15th to 17th right here in a little group. And you know, the 15 of Eves got his points just recently. It took him until round 16 to finally get something. And then he got some more at Hawaii. So that has saved the 15 team's season and taken them away from the threat of losing the charter on this race car. So it's not been the best rookie season for Eves, but getting a pair of top 5s at the end of the season is always a good momentum booster heading into the next year. Currently racing with James Silverfox, who we know will be dropping down to the Napa Truck Series next year, and currently unsure who will be taking over the duties at United Emirates Racing behind the wheel of the number 34. That has yet to be announced. Green flag pit stops have begun here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, lap 52. Samuel England, first one down, brings down Joseph Shrigley and Bobo Jones. James Silverfox, Shade Eves. As it appears, this will indeed be a 2-stop race. So these drivers opting for the undercut. Peter Onjak, one of those drivers who has been struggling all day. You see Schwallenberg, Demax, going to go another lap. Weeks, Davidson going some more as well. DJ Curtis will come down pit road. As Schwallenberg and the Max, while they've navigated lap traffic, the 10 and the 18 now have about a 4-second gap over Dajon Weeks. So Curtis brings down Bobby Jones, Matthew Rodriguez, Sean Perkins, and more. Collins, Mitchell Collins had to slam the brakes on Ryan Acosta there. Schwallenberg's going to come in here on lap 54. Dajon Weeks, Jesse Turner, Zaedin Davidson all in as Eric Demax stays out. Marchese comes in. Cody Lamas comes in. Will Goss, Vince Freeze. Dom Caps, who's fallen outside of the top 20. James Shelley. And a lot of drivers come in this time around. Here comes the 18 of Eric Demax. Down the pit road, Jeffrey White comes with him. See a couple drivers here opting on the overcut. Saw the 18 come in, saw the 11 come in. Those two had stayed out. Did anyone else opt for the overcut? Yep, 89, Brandon Morris. And the 13 of Francois Chastain as, oh, Freeze gets held up coming out of his stall behind James Shelley. And that is going to cost Freeze a good bit of time. Demax, left side's down, out and away. There's Samuel England. He's your race leader right now. So England will come around and take the lead away from Eric Demax. Dylan Schwallenberg, though, is right in tow in second. Curtis gonna be in third. As Demax, with the overcut move, only loses 2 positions. Really doesn't lose any time. Dajon Weeks in 5th. Bobo Jones up to 6th. Shrigley 7th. Bobby Jones 8th. Davidson 9th. And Matthew Rodriguez sits in 10th. So Turner drops down to 11th. Silver Fox up to 12th. Marchese down to 16th place. So it looks like Blake Warren has had some kind of issue. No, he is actually 17th. Okay, I thought he came out of pit road. I think that was Downey, actually. I got the color schemes mixed up. So Warren currently back up to 17th place. At the front of the field. The battle is going to be on here shortly, I think, for the race lead. But right now, Samuel England, with the power of the undercut, leads by about 1.5 seconds over Dylan Schwallenberg. There was one dicey moment during the green flag pit cycle, and that was Hannah Allen. 88 reported a flat tire right after their pit stop and trying to get down to the apron in this very sketchy section of the track. If you have an issue coming through the quad oval and you see Hannah Allen, I don't know why she didn't get down there. She had a chance to and get split by the Spartan Motorsports Hondas as Brandon Morris came out of pit road and almost paged I think that was Dylan Young on the bottom. But Allen finally got it down to the apron, and the 88 pit to get a tire on the car that's not flat, so they do not lose any more time. Dylan Schwallenberg has caught the 82 of Samuel England, as England looking to put Brandon Morris a second lap down. 89's been pretty slow, but not below minimum pace. So Morris just doing his best to hold his line and let the leaders get on by. Dajon Weeks has closed up into this picture for positions, battling for positions as well. As now Schwallenberg looking for a way to get by England. He knows England's going to do his best not to make it easy. England very competitive. Schwallenberg going to dive down to the bottom of the corner from the middle groove in the middle of the corner. And that is just the power of slightly fresher tires. It's a 2-lap difference, advantage the 10. England, though, not making it easy, but I think Schwallenberg going to clear here into turn 3. And that is the case. So move the 10 back to the top of the leaderboard as they are 3 wide behind them with lap traffic, and that's Eric Demax that's in the midst of that. So Demax gets clear of that as Curtis and Weeks getting held up by the 31 of Charlie Smith. Morrison and Francois Chastain running the bottom line. Curtis tried to move to the outside of Smith, but just quite couldn't get there. Now Curtis to the inside of the 31. As now Demax goes to the top line. Demax has been favoring that top side a lot. That 18 Toyo Tires Dodge looks really good, riding it right next to the wall. Demax currently doing everything he needs to do to have a shot at this championship. It's the Sony Cup Series. Anything and everything can happen. Dajon Weeks might be running in 5th, but hey, you never know. Flat tire could happen here, or blown engine could happen there, or an accident. You never know what could happen. There's still a long way to go. We just passed halfway, but Demax is going to put himself in the position he needs to be in, and that is the race lead. He was fighting Schwallenberg for it during that whole first stint, but Schwallenberg's car was just a little too good for Demax to get by. But this time on this run, Demax, it's just 1 lap, and it's really not a lot, but here at Atlanta, it makes a difference. So pitting that 1 lap later, then Dylan Schwallenberg has now partially moved Eric Demax to the race lead, but also likely some adjustments were made on the 18. But Dajon Weeks ain't going to let him get out into the clear just yet. He's made it by Curtis for 4th, now by Samuel England for 3rd. Remember, Monster Energy Racing, Joseph Shrigley Racing are in that Tech Alliance partnership dealio that they've been working together for the past few years, so this is quite a confliction of interest for, at least for Joseph Shrigley. Dajon Weeks probably like, my championship, I need it. I need that championship. You guys can win another year. They continue to navigate some more lap traffic. This time it's the Spartan cars. As after getting by Miles Mashburn, Demax with a bit of clean air, maybe a couple of laps, as Weeks gets stuck behind Dylan Young. Meanwhile, as this all goes on, Cody Lamas has driven up to 6th place. This 48 car looks really quick right now. Turner in 7th, Bobo Jones 8th, Shrigley 9th, and Matthew Rodriguez the top 10. As Zaedin Davidson currently fights for 11th place with Bobby Jones. And a 4-second gap back to Marchese in 13th place. Talk about bad luck seasons. Talk about the 47 of Bobby Jones. Just 14 points on the whole year. 2 points finishes inside the top 10. And Bobby has been cursed with some terrible, terrible luck this year. Rumor going around the garage is that he will return to this car next year, but nothing official has been announced. Bobby looking to get what would be his 3rd points finish of the season. But to do that, he's going to not only have to go through Zaedin Davidson, but he's going to have to catch up to, for now, the 9 of Matthew Rodriguez sits in 10th. So, and Matthew Rodriguez, speaking to this team, talked earlier about Schwallenberg leaving it. Matthew Rodriguez has stated that, about a month or so ago, that he was not looking to drive this car next year, looking to go elsewhere. So curious if this 9 machine is indeed still open, or if perhaps plans have changed, as they typically can do here in this sport. Eric Demax continues to lead the way with Dajon Weeks right behind him. Weeks pit a lap before Demax, alongside the 10 of Schwallenberg, but Schwallenberg now 1.3 seconds back from these two, as no immediate lap traffic up ahead. Next one up is the 8 of Charles Sanford. Right now, looking through the leaderboard, Dom Cap still 21st. Will Goss up to 18th. Blake Warren in 19th. How about Shade Eves up to 14th? Does all of that just shuffled? But it's the Max Weeks 1-2 right now. Dom Caps just got by 33 of Cal Farrell for 20th place. Caps trying to move back forward. He qualified 8th, but has not had the race pace to run 8th. Same could be said for Blake Warren, Jeffrey White, and some others that qualified top 5, top 10 this afternoon. As they are currently 3 wide for 16th, 15th place. Is Will Goss. He's been gaining some positions here these last couple of laps. He's looking to clear Ryan Acosta for 15th and set his sights on Shade Eves for 14th. Then a 4.5 second gap up to Marchese. Marchese's been closing in on Bobby Jones and Zaedin Davidson throughout this run. But a good run for Will Goss and the 51 team. They've scored points on 3 occasions this year. And this team, though, has had a lot of top 20 runs. But in the words of driver Will Goss, it don't matter. If we don't get points, it doesn't matter. It is not something to talk about for this 51 team, and you've got to respect the drive that this team has to get those top 10 finishes. But fortunately for them, with the points format changing next year, they'll be getting points every week, but you know they'll still be going after them top 10s, them top 5s, and you know for sure that these guys are going to want to win a race. Davidson in 11th place, trying to catch Joseph Shrigley, who's in a battle for 9th with Bobo Jones, as Matthew Rodriguez has pulled up into 8th and driven away from them. Meanwhile, Turner 7th, Curtis 6th, England 5th now, as Cody Lamas has turned on the Jets. He's up to 4th. And up the road, Dajon Weeks. 1 lap difference. What 1 lap difference? He's right here fighting for the lead with Eric Demax. A couple of laps from now, it will be 40 laps to go. Not expecting any teams to stretch it from that first pit stop. The maximum these cars can go on gas is about 75 laps. So everyone would be running out with 5 to go if they tried to do that. So expecting a second pit stop here at some point, but not quite sure what the strategy call will be on that front. Cody Lamas has caught Dylan Schwallenberg. He's looking for third to the 10s outside. As they run, Lamas in position to take third in the point standings away from Zaedin Davidson. Davidson would fall to fourth. It's a 17-point gap for Curtis to Davidson, so Curtis would need to finish second, with Davidson getting no points to pass him in the point standings. So there are some points battles going on, but not a lot you can really do about it unless you get a top 3. Another such example of that would be Vince Freeze against Samuel England and James Silverfox. England and Silverfox, 91 points on the season. Vince Freeze, 78. So that's a 13-point gap that Freeze would have to try to make up. Lamas will clear Schwallenberg for third place. Issue for the 44 of Bobo Jones from 10th place. The fuel pressure on this car suddenly started dropping. They're going to bring it down. They're going to put 4 tires on it and then diagnose the issue. But just pure misfortune for this 44 team. They were having an amazing run, looking to get points for what would have been the 5th time this season and 2nd race in a row to end the season. Instead, it's going to go down as likely an outside the top 35 finish, as this team will continue to try to work to fix the issue. Another driver closing up to Dylan Schwallenberg is the 17 of Jesse Turner, who's made it up to 5th place. Eric Demax continuing to lead the way. Turner with a not so great season as far as Jesse Turner standards are concerned. He got the win in the Indy 250. But sits 14th in points. That's the only win on the year for Turner. So Turner in an outside, way outside shot here of looking to win this race. 5.5 seconds back. Gonna need some luck, maybe a caution. As someone's pitting up ahead, and that is Dajon Weeks from 2nd place. Sean Perkins just in front of him. Miles Mashburn comes in. Here comes Zaedin Davidson. Davidson gonna match the undercut by Weeks. Dom Capps, Will Goss, Jeffrey White, James Shelley all looking to gain some time here with the undercut. It's only gonna be a 30-lap run to the finish. Eric Demax gonna answer the call in 2nd time by right after Weeks. Lamas in as well. Turner follows suit. As a little bit of contact with Capps for Weeks coming out of his pit stall. But Weeks out and away. Schwallenberg stayed out. Bobby Jones yet to pit as Weeks comes back out on the racetrack. And we've got tire marks in turn 3, but we are still green. So something has occurred in the midst of these pit stops, but no caution flag was thrown. Weeks coming around off of turn 2 is going to pass Eric Demax. Demax with a terrible stop compared to the 30. Fall off is about 2 seconds, but Weeks, I believe, has gained so much more than that. No, actually, it's about what he should have gained, is the 2 seconds. Samuel England stayed out another lap, so Schwallenberg, Curtis, Matthew Rodriguez pit lap 100, England, Shrigley, Shady's pit lap 101. And here going into turn 1 now, Dajon Weeks has in fact taken the race lead away. But he is in a swarm of lap traffic. And now he's trying to get by Dane Stinson, teammate to Eric Demax. And Weeks, 2.3 second gap over the max stat time by. This time by at the line, it's a 2.9 second gap. So Dajon Weeks, he's hauling the mail. He wants to go. Can he bookend a championship season with a victory? As someone, I think, put some booster fuel in the fuel tank of this thing, man, it is hauling the mail right now. Getting by Stinson, gonna get by Perkins here. All of these cars laps down, half the field a lap down. With 26 to go, this time by at the start-finish line, it is about a 3-second gap for the 30 of Dajon Weeks. But with those 26 laps to go being said, anything can still happen. As we all know, Dajon Weeks used to be the king of bad luck. Speaking of bad luck, this was the incident that did not bring out a caution. Francois Chastain turned down the pit, but Aiden Shepard was still there. Contact was made, 13 spun around, but as you can see, nobody was coming, and by the time Shrigley started to slow down for 13, he was down on the apron and he was pointed in the right direction. So we remained green. Officials were watching the situation, thought about throwing the caution, but no cars were immediately coming, so we remained green, and the pit cycle was not disrupted due to this incident, but the 13 is now without a back end. We'll have to see what kind of pace he's got for the remainder of the race. Talk about the power of the undercut. Dom Caps up to 12th, Will Goss up to 13th, Marchese just in front of him along with Bobby Jones. So a chance to score some points are right out the windshield here for the 651.83. England with his overcut lost 19 seconds to Dajon Weeks. It was probably less than that, but it's up to 19 seconds now. He runs in 9th. Matthew Rodriguez is 8th. Davidson 7th. Curtis 6th. Schwallenberg 5th as Lars Van Schaik has blown the motor. Is he going to make it back to pit road? I think he will. 59 blows up here near the end of the going. Jesse Turner up to 4th. How about Cody Lamas in 3rd after starting outside of the top 20? Gotta wonder what kind of fight this 48 team could have put up if they had qualified in the top 10. Meanwhile, Demax has been in a fight with lap down car Shade Eves. Eves currently running in 25th. Demax also has Mitchell Collins right here with him as Schaik makes it to pit road. But Demax been stuck on the inside of Eves, and I'm wondering if this is partially to blame for Weeks being able to just keep pulling away, because Weeks has no one to his outside. The gap was 2 seconds, not even 1.8 seconds, when Demax came back on the racetrack, hitting 1 lap later than the 30. And Weeks has doubled the gap, up to 4.3 seconds. Make that 4.4. I don't know if they made an adjustment on this 30 car to boot, or if the 18 made an adjustment in the wrong direction. But the 30 has the oldest tires on track, and he's hauling the mail like he made the overcut. 19 laps to go in the 2023 season. Dajon Weeks. Can he avoid misfortune? Can he get a win to go with that championship he's been looking for? DJ Curtis has blown up. And DJ Curtis, he's been the king of bad luck this year. It happened going into turn 3, I'm hearing. Curtis from 6th place just blew the motor. Now, depending where Schwallenberg finishes, that might get the 10 up to 6th in points. Dom Caps just popped up into the top 10 now. Caps currently racing with Marchese and Will Goss for that 10th place position. Bobby Jones also right there up the road, now moves him up to 9th. As it's now a 5-second gap from Weeks to Eric Demax. Blake Warren with a good rebound here this afternoon, was down to 25th or so, 23rd. Undercut on this past pit stop has them back up to 14th, trying to pass Joseph Shrigley for 13th, but now there's an issue on the 99. Here in flat tire, and he's not. Why did he stay out? Oh, that was close. I don't know why Blake didn't pit right there. Pit road was right there to go. Instead, he stays out. He's going to limp it around on the apron, but result would have been ruined either way, even if he had pit there, but that is just unfortunate. Here with 12 laps to go. But highlight of the day for sure for Blake going to be that he got the pole award. But definitely going to be disappointing for this team to not get what was looking like to be at least a double top 15. No points to go with that if they're not in the top 10, but still would have been a double top 15. And that just went out the window. So that sucks. 9 laps to go in the 2023 FBRL Sony Cup Series season finale here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Blake Warren going to return to the track. He'll be 3 laps down. Just joining us in the recent laps, Lars Van Schaik with an engine failure, DJ Curtis with an engine failure. Brandon Morris 3 laps down on raw pace. Hannah Allen 3 laps down. She had a flat tire right after the first pit cycle. Blake Warren just had a flat tire here with 12 laps to go. Several drivers 2 laps down on pace, that being the 70 of Victor Nunez, 22 of Gatlin Downey, and then Francois Chastain 2 laps down. He got crashed during the last pit cycle, but no caution was thrown due to the gap on the racetrack. Charles Sanford up to 26. James Silverfox plummeted to 27th. On Jack 24th. Eves 22nd now. Perkins in 20th. Dane Stinson, man, he's up to 19th. Brian Acosta currently the final car on the lead lap in 14th. Bobo Jones also had a fuel system issue. That has the 44 currently a lap down, about to go back to 2 laps down. But I'll tell you something. I don't know what they did to this number 30 car on their pit stop, but the gap is now over 6 seconds for Dajon Weeks. Back to the 18 of Eric Demax. Lamas in 3rd, Schwallenberg 4th, Turner 5th. England, Davidson, Bobby Jones, Matthew Rodriguez, Anthony Marchese. your top 10 with 5 laps to go. 14 career wins for Dajon Weeks prior to this point. There are not a lot of drivers in the Sony Cup Series that make it to such a level and fail to win a championship. The notable one is, of course, Charles Sanford, who has won 21 times in his Sony Cup Series career. Matthew Rodriguez, next one up with 15 wins. James Silverfox with 14 wins. And then several drivers, Andreas Allen at 11, Jeff James, Ryan Griffin, James Shelley are all at 10. Shelley, though, a newer driver, so not really part of that conversation. Dajon Weeks, also one of those newer drivers. But Weeks has had quite the early career, 14 career wins. And he's looking to make today career win number 15, but most importantly, a championship. Joining a long list of drivers: Dom Capps, Jacob Hart, Jordan Davis, Eric Burton, Eugene Demax, Jesse Turner, Richard Johnson, Luke Martin, Jake Baskinger, DJ Curtis, Nick Mace. All champions of the Sony Cup Series. And now Dajon Weeks' mind is a ticking time bomb, waiting to see not the white flag, but the checkered flag. White flag in the air as Weeks moves to the inside of Ryan Acosta. It's a 7.5 second gap back to Eric Demax. What a season. Won the Daytona 500 to start. 4 second place finishes, 2 third place finishes to boot, and now a second win on the season. Dajon Weeks will win in Atlanta, and he is your 2023 Sony Cup Series champion. Monster Energy Racing has a Sony Cup Series championship, and they're getting it in the same year that they won a Napa Truck Series championship with this same number. The number 30 wins 2 of the 3 FBRL championships this season, both under the same team umbrella. And I believe, as far as Sony Cup and Napa is concerned, Monster Energy Racing is the only team that has won a championship in both of those respective series. Eric Demax, man. Blame it on lap traffic partially, but I think the adjustment was made to make that 30 quicker, man. 6 seconds. The 30 gained on the 18 in those last 30 laps. To win the race, to win the championship. Schwallenberg third, final race with Rodriguez Racing. Cody Lamas fourth, Jesse Turner fifth. Samuel England, Zaedin Davidson. Davidson really was essentially a non-factor this entire race. I don't think he got any higher than sixth. Bobby Jones finishes off a tough year in 8th, Matthew Rodriguez 9th, and Anthony Marchese rounds out the top 10. Man, oh man. What a race. What a season. We went green flag this entire going. Eric Demax is going to get second in the points. Cody Lamas, I'm not 100% sure he got enough to pass Davidson. I'm not sure what would be enough for the 8-point difference. I'll have to check when I do the result sheet. Turner comes home in 5th. That will be enough, I believe, to at least get him over Shelley and Marchese in the points. Let's see. Samuel England 6th, I think might pass Shrigley in points. As Schwallenberg, I believe, is going to get DJ Curtis and Dom Caps. So I believe Schwallenberg will get 5th in the points. So, but enough, I think. And more, I'll show you. The 2023 season in the FBRL is over. When will 2024 begin? I don't know. I hope it's not until like May, though. You know what I mean? Your champions this year, Ace Wild in Napa, Corey Williams in Hardee's, and Dajon Weeks in the Sony Cup Series. 2023 is over. Thank you to Noah Hart for having this series. This is one of the best leagues around in the community. And thank you to Noah as well for allowing me to commentate this season finale. Ton of fun. And I hope all of you that watch this race, whether during the premiere or afterwards when you have the time to watch, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And we, the admin team, will see y'all in 2024. Peace out. See you later.